Hello, class. Last week I talked about dopamine and thought I'd talk about serotonin this week. So get your happy chemicals going. And as I read this article, I reread it right before making this video, and something that impressed upon me is that it's amazing how little we know about stuff. I mean, whenever I look at some of these stuff and what we think we know and how we run things, it's really scary in a way that how little we know. And oftentimes, SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, are used to treat conditions like depression and anxiety and that kind of thing. And the idea behind this is from 1967, where it was hypothesized that a chemical imbalance, specifically in serotonin, was a major cause of depression. But about 30% or so of people that have depression can't be treated with SSRIs. So personally, though, I've never had true depression. I've had acute depression for sure. I mean, when I've dealt with difficult circumstances in my life, I dealt with acute depression, but I've never felt true depression. Anxiety, though, that is something I have to deal with. So the article does talk about this, a patient here who was taking finasteride. So finasteride, under the brand name Propecia, is the one. Alopecia is baldness, and Propecia means more hair growth. So obviously, I've just decided to let my hair go. I think Captain Picard in Star Trek is Patrick Stewart is an extremely sexy man. I follow his hairstyle. But the way that finasteride works is it decreases the amount of dihydroxytestosterone. So testosterone gets reduced to dihydroxy. I guess it's oxidized to dihydroxytestosterone, and the dihydroxytestosterone attacks your hair follicles. And it changes them from the lush hair follicles to just soft and fuzzy hair follicles. So so decreasing the amount of dihydroxytestosterone causes less baldness. It's also used to treat individuals with prostate issues. I don't know the majority. I don't know how all that works. Fortunately, I don't have any issues with my prostate, but I did see that it's also used for treating in that. So, but all right. Well, moving on. The patient then was dealing with anxiety after stopping the treatment of finasteride, and then there was a debate about serotonin, and it's an old study, and one of it is like we do prescribe these SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, and the idea is they would increase the level of serotonin in your brain, but no one's actually measured it, and so there's various PET scans, so positron emission tomography scans. These scans, you give sugar that's got carbon 11 on it that will the scan basically says where the sugar is going, and you can look at the brain and image it to see where because the positrons the carbon 11 will emit by a positron emission, and then it can find the gamma ray from that. From the positron meets an electron, and they release a really set gamma ray from that. So you can image brains that way, and specifically seeing where activity is, and so doing these PET scans, and it did not necessarily show that SSRIs increased the level of serotonin in the brain. But obviously, I mean, although it doesn't work for 30% of the people, 70% of the people respond well to SSRIs. So, I mean, there's something going on here. And this idea how SSRIs work, so selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors, so there's serotonin here, and this is the nerve cell, and this is the synapse. So between the neuron and the synapse. And serotonin is released. So the uh, the here's the serotonin receptor. It reuptakes, but so that your body can store. But the reuptake inhibitor blocks this channel, so that way there's more serotonin floating around your brain, and so the idea is, oh, it makes you happier. Kind of funny that I mean, that this is the basis for much of our treatment is just really a guess that we never really looked at. I mean, even this study had 17 patients, right? And they all had Parkinson's. So, which could also be a problem because Parkinson's is typically caused by the substantia nigra, the black part of the brain. So, there's other types of Parkinson's, but if that's the classical, is the substantia nigra part. So, sorry, I know, many of you are medical people, so I'm trying to use more of the medical words for this. This is, here, if you can see in this article, here's some of the old stuff, the monoamine oxidase inhibitors. So, but now let's talk about where things are going. One of them brings us to the good old microbiome, and this is an emerging field. So gut health, and really where the majority of our serotonin is in our gut. So I mean, and like by a factor of 10, right? So it's really I mean, the microbiome, again, this is an emerging field. We don't know how it all works and plays out. And it's showing that there is something here, and the patient eventually did a fecal transplant to try and treat that. And so, and it's amazing that we are doing the fecal transplants. That's one thing that it's not FDA approved, but it is a therapy that people are doing. I've never done that myself, although I did start seeing a dietitian a couple of years back, and one of the things I focus on is my own microbiome. And I do take I take probiotics, but I take probiotics that are actually symbiotic fungi to help the microbiome. So I'm not really doing like probiotic stuff, although I do have yogurt and kimchi in my diet, and those are probiotics. But the ones that I take deal with, like I said, they're symbiotic fungi. So, and I can tell you, they've changed my life. They really have changed my life. I mean, as far as how my gut works, and so I thought, like, oh, I'll try this stuff out. It's just a bunch of like something new age influencer, kind of stuff, and they're just trying to sell their products, and I'm hooked. So I'm all about the probiotics now. So that's really helped me in my digestion. And so yeah, gut health is showing, especially the microbiome, and not just in your gut, but also, I mean, things like on our skin and whatnot. This is an emerging field. We're not entirely understanding it yet, but we do know that there is plays a big role on mental health and digestive health and various things, because the gut has been called your second brain, in part because of the fact that, I mean, the majority of your serotonin is made and dealt with the gut. So I hope you like the article. It makes you think a little bit. I know there's not too many answers in this, but it shows you how little we know, and we are trying to study it, we're trying to understand, but it's difficult, and I personally find it scary how little we know and how we take that and how we treat things. And although, I mean, from a strictly scientific point of view, something that works 70% of the time is, not a high level of confidence, but I mean, then again, for these patients, it can really help their lives. And I mean, unfortunately, there's 30% that do not receive benefit or do not receive significant benefit from the SSRIs. So these are the things. I can try and do. So, like I said, hope you enjoy the article. And I am big on mental health. I mean, it's something that doesn't get talked about very much, and I know many people suffer from it. And if you look at the statistics, it's really scary. I mean, on the order of 1 in 3 people deal with anxiety. I deal with anxiety. I know many people also deal with depression, and anxiety is also on the rise. And I mean, many people on the rise right now, because our world is a little crazy right now. We're dealing with although we are, as I record this video, we're in a blockade with Iran, but I mean, there is a potential for this conflict to get out of hand. So, and also prices are rising. Right, so sorry if I'm making your anxiety worse. That's not my intention. I'm just saying that I understand anxiety, so because I have it myself. So if you do find yourself in a situation where your mental health is spiraling out of control, feel free to reach out to me. I mean, what I'll do is I'll connect you with services. Same thing if you're not getting enough food with your basic needs, or if you're having other academic issues. I don't necessarily mean, as I said before, the class material. That is my primary focus. My job is to help you with that. But I mean, like, if you're dealing with registration issues or financial aid or something like that, if you need help on that, feel free to reach out to me. I will do what I can to help you, as always. So sorry if I rambled on too much about this topic, but I do find it interesting and also scary. Like I said, how little we know, and also shows you what we're trying to do to understand it. So have a nice rest of your week, and we're almost into May. So, and the end is coming. The end of the semester is coming. So take care and have a nice weekend. Goodbye.